This meeting of the North Liberty Library Board of Trustees.
To order.
To order.
Then you just step through the things.
The first agenda item, additions, changes to the agenda. Does anyone have anything to add or change in the agenda?
No.
Then public comment, seeing no one in the gallery, we'll move to the next item.
Angela.
Approval of minutes from November.
Angela's here now.
Don't have a quorum.
I know.
Okay. Not having a quorum, we move to the next item, staff introduction. And
All right. This is Jennifer.
Hi all, I'm Jennifer Jorderbreck, the Assistant Director at the library. Thanks for giving me some time to speak with you tonight. I'd like to share some information, there we go, about training and scheduling. I'll start out with a staffing update, then provide an overview of the training we offer during the onboarding process for new employees and the ongoing training available to all staff. Finally, I'll explain the different schedules we have at the library and the best practices we use while creating those schedules. We'll have time at the end for questions, but of course, feel free to ask questions throughout as we go. We currently have a total of 21 people on staff with 11 full-time and 10 as part-time. Among the part-timers, we have 8 library assistant 1s and 2 library assistant 2s. The 2s don't supervise staff, but serve as building or library supervisors in the absence of administration or full-time staff. The main tasks for all the library assistants include working at the front desk, providing customer service, processing materials, checking in and shelving those materials, and they also work with the full-time staff to provide program support depending on their availability and interests. We consider volunteers as additional members of our team. Youth in grades 6 through 12 and adults complete a volunteer application form so we can match them up according to their interests and our needs. We also have dedicated volunteers that serve on our Friends of the Library group and also you, our library board. So we do appreciate your time and effort in giving to the library. Thank you. We sponsor also University of Iowa practicum students who are working towards social work or library degrees. They are with us for a semester's worth of time, and during their internship, we're happy to be able to support them in their learning journey. Rounding out our team is our resident guinea pig, Matilda. We affectionately refer to her as our entertainment services librarian. You can see a pretty picture of her up there. She's very popular, and people of all ages come in just to say hi or to even read to her. She even has an Instagram account at NLPetsRead and the number 2. So you're welcome to follow her if you would like. Our public services librarian, Kelly, has worked hard to develop a training manual for onboarding our staff. The training process is designed to be flexible according to the level of library experience and the needs of the new team member. A typical time frame for structured training is 2 weeks. During that time, they work through the training manual, read policies, review the library website and databases, shadow other staff at the front desk, and listen to training in Niche Academy. The Niche Academy platform is home to both the library staff onboarding and the Homelessness Training Institute. New staff have told us that they especially like our one-on-one meetings. During this time, they meet with each full-time staffer to learn more about them, both personally and professionally. This helps new staff be able to put the pieces together of how we work, who does what, and whom to best connect with for specific questions. Training doesn't stop once they've gone through the initial onboarding process. All staff are encouraged to participate in ongoing training that's available in a variety of formats. Full-time staff are able to earn continuing education credits to maintain their state certification, and part-time staff are able to continue advancing their knowledge, which in turn helps us to better serve our community. Target Solutions is the platform the City of North Liberty utilizes for all of its employees. A few of those topics that are offered are general city employee onboarding, CPR, situational awareness and de-escalation, and bloodborne pathogens. Each academy also offers a variety of sessions that staff can view during downtime at the library. Full-time staff also attend library conferences. We rotate so everyone who wants to participate has the chance. Our most popular conferences include ARSL, which is the Association for Rural and Small Libraries, and ILA, which is the Iowa Library Association. Those both happen every fall, and we find that staff return energized from the networking opportunities and ready to implement ideas culled from a variety of wonderful sessions. I should also mention that staff are encouraged to submit proposals, and many have been selected to present, which helps us share the good work we're doing in the North Liberty Library with conference attendees on both a local and national level. Throughout the year, there's also a variety of webinars staff participate in, and I think our team values the emphasis we place on continued learning. We recognize and respect that all staff have a life and obligations outside of the library. Our philosophy with scheduling is to be as flexible as we can while still adequately providing coverage for the needs of the library. Our staff are our greatest assets, so we work hard to accommodate as much as possible. This results in more time in the scheduling process, but I truly feel the work done on my end helps to eliminate some stress for the staff, enables them to work schedules that fit into their lives, and aids in staff retention. I work daily with our schedules, and there's multiple factors I consider during that process, including the class schedules for our student employees and the other jobs staff are working. I think most, if not all of our part-timers are working multiple jobs and/or are in school. A fun stat is that currently 1/3, which is 7 out of the 21 of our staff, are students. We have people in high school and also working on undergraduate and graduate level degrees. Libraries are all about lifelong learning, and we're excited to be able to support and encourage that within our staff too. We schedule on a monthly time frame, and the types of schedules we have include work schedules, program, and desk schedules. A work schedule would be the hours you're typically working in a day, like 8 to 5 or 4 to 8 p.m. We staff 4 people on the weeknights, Monday through Thursday, and Saturdays, and then 3 on Sundays. Those schedules are entered into the Paycor software, which is also available as an app. This enables our staff, especially our part-timers, to check their schedules outside of work or to see whom they might be able to trade with if needed. I also enter programs into Paycor. I note conferences, outreach, and meetings. Really any event that's of a longer duration, as our team is very busy out in the community doing outreach and programming, but of course we still need to staff in the library to help people coming through our doors. The staff positions are color-coded, and having all of this information in one location helps us ensure we have adequate coverage to help our community. We utilize an Outlook calendar to schedule time at the desk, and I work to help find staff coverage when they aren't able to do their regular desk times. Paycor recently shared the following information, which aligns with my personal thinking on scheduling. Proactive scheduling is about empowering your employees and optimizing your workforce. Nationwide, more than 8 million retail and food service workers, so mainly part-time workers, have unpredictable schedules, and 42% have no say in their scheduling at all. I believe that taking your staff needs into account and enabling them to have a voice in their schedules is a good thing. Scheduling is one of those unseen tasks that, if done well, can help your organization operate more efficiently and improve workflow. Putting the needs of our employees on par with the needs of the library has served us well. Okay. So In conclusion, thank you very much for listening. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have, and my contact information is on the screen if you happen to think of anything outside of this time.
I'm going to chime in with two things. One is, thank goodness for Jen. Because she is so detail oriented and does such a fantastic job on the scheduling. It is not my forte. But the other thing is I was at Iowa City last week on Friday doing a training, and I had have two former employees who work at Iowa City, and one of them said that the onboarding that they received at the North Liberty Library was the best onboarding and training they'd ever had in any position they've ever been in, and that they hoped that they could carry it forward as they move into different jobs. And then someone else chimed in and said, I would fully agree. It was the best training ever. So pretty great. I think Kelly's done a fabulous job setting us up for success in that area.
That's great. Yeah, well done. First of all, sorry for stepping in a little bit late, right as you were getting started. Sorry if I threw you off at all. From a staffing level, it sounds like you're so thoughtful in terms of planning everything out. Do you feel like the library's current staffing or current staff levels are appropriate given the needs that you have for all the different things that you're trying to fit together and coverage that you need?
Wonderful question. I do feel we're appropriately staffed at this time. It's always a juggling act, but Jenny's done really well with our budgeting process through the years on incrementally adding staff and part-time staff to help us cover for our needs. And so I do think we're well positioned. There's never enough time, money, staffing, as the saying goes, but I think we're really well positioned with the current staff levels.
We do have one part-time position that we'll be hiring this spring that we've just been waiting to hire until closer to summer again. And then knowing that we have a couple students who may end up leaving us in the next, several months. Hopefully they'll stay through summer at least. But we have a couple seniors in high school, and they're both fabulous, so that'll be sad. And of course, on a full-time level. And they did ask at the budget meeting if we needed more staff, and right now we're okay. We just don't have space to put them, even if we had them. In the current library, I don't know where we would put 2 more full-time staff or 3 or whatever. But I could, down the road, I could see us needing someone to work full-time with Andrew on collection development, certainly, and potentially another youth person under Emily for the family services.
Is there retention for staff consistent with what other libraries would be in like your peer group?
I think so. We're fortunate enough to be so close to the University of Iowa with their library school program. So we get them, we get great workers, and then we train them up out the door when they go on to bigger and better things. So, and with the nature of part-time work, that is more transitional in nature, but I do feel we're very on par with other libraries in the area.
Yeah,
Seems like you've got great staff. I just was curious. Hard for me to benchmark.
We tend to retain our full-time staff for long periods. We've had a few leave over the years, but not many. And when our new HR person just started with the city, and she was wildly impressed with just all across the board the staff retention in the city. I think it's a good place to work. I think part-time. I've never seen we go through more part-time staff than I've ever seen in the 27 years that I've been here, but I think it's just the nature of society right now and people trying to juggle schedules and, as Jen mentioned, trying to balance 2 or 3 jobs.
And when I started, which was 10 years ago, we didn't have any part-time employees. And so, we've been able to grow that. And yeah, I think we have really good staff. And I do think it helps taking into account with their needs and what they've got going on because we didn't see that as much pre-pandemic, and
I think we had a couple part-timers, but not very many, 2 or 3.
Yeah, so
we've worked really hard to build that up for the flexibility of scheduling.
Yeah, that makes sense. Especially what you talked about with all the commitment to helping provide flexibility for those people. That's great.
Yeah, the staff does a great job being out in the community, helping, partnering with other city departments to offer programming, and just all the other specific library programs that we do. So it all works together pretty nice, I think. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, again, feel free to reach out anytime if you do have any questions. Thanks for your time tonight.
Sure.
Thank you.
Item 5 on the agenda is the library director report.
All right, so budget is the first thing. And as we are actually just sitting really well, we're at 40% right now. 42 is the average for this time of year, so we're in good shape overall across the board with the different. I'm really pleased with personnel because a lot of times that we see our personnel tipping over that percentage where it's supposed to be, so it's nice to see that we've kind of evened out with that. I don't have any control over the personnel budget. That's done at the city level, but it's looking good. So does anyone have any questions about the current budget?
No.
All right. Shall I just move on into my report? Okay. So I just wanted to I just had my meeting last week with our city administrator and assistant city administrator on the budget request for FY26. It was actually a lot. It was very painless. I put in a request for about 4.34%. That doesn't include personnel. As I mentioned, that those numbers aren't in yet, but the numbers are in for my part of the budget that I request. And I knew that the next couple of budget years are going to be tough. So I tried to keep it as low of an ask as I could. I just added a couple areas of increase. The biggest one is our janitorial increase with the new janitorial company. We had the same company for a long time, and she was a one-person operation and just charged a lot less than most companies. So we were really fortunate for a long time, and now this new the new company is about 54% more a year. So that was a huge part of the increase. And then I am increasing the equipment budget just in hopes that we can do a lease buyout this year to update our copier, which is the next thing on the agenda. The personnel increase is slated to be 5.45 is what they told me, but I have not seen those numbers yet. And then the copier lease, I don't remember if I brought this up at all last time, but I did bring up that we don't do the wireless printing at our library, and we ceased doing print by email just for privacy's sake. So we are getting closer. I have now 2 quotes. This one, at the time of the writing of this, I had E.O. Johnson quoting, and then, and Access is on there too. I just got the second quote today, actually, from Access, or over the weekend. So they're pretty comparable. It's going to be really just balancing everything, laying everything out and looking at all the numbers. I just emailed another company today to ask for a third quote just to see if there was any differences because a neighboring library has the third company that's not on here. It's Copy Systems, and their lease is quite dramatically less. So I'm just going to see what we find out from them. Professional activity, as mentioned, I just presented at Iowa City Public Library's staff training day to about 80 people on Friday. It was a really fun training. I'd never done this training before. It was on candor and trust in the workplace. I feel like I got a really good response. You never know, but I had time over lunch to just go and sit at different tables and ask if anybody had questions or feedback for me since it was the first time I'd presented, and I got some really positive feedback, so that was good. And I think that'll be applicable for some future trainings that we've been invited to do. I've been invited to go to Burlington in March and do a all-day training with a friend of mine, but that's gonna probably be a day off because I think they're gonna pay me, so that'll be nice. And then I will be just recently got the update that in January the 14th and 15th, I believe I'll be going to Washington, D.C. for an in-person meeting for the Council on Civic Strength, which is a group that I've been meeting with for about 2 years online. And this will be our first time of all of us meeting in person, so that's exciting. And then the Knight Foundation invitation just came as well for the Library Leadership Conference in Miami. Knight covers all of the travel costs for that one, so that's very nice. It's a 2-day conference down there. So this is literally an overnight trip to DC and 2 nights in Miami and back. So it'll be great. Quick trips. Friends just had their cookie walk. I just wanted to report they did just over $1,000 in the 3 hours or whatever it is before they sell out. And we had a few trays left when I came in on Monday, and they were all gone by the end of Tuesday. So they did well. The library annual fundraising letter, it will go out. I'm actually planning to work on it this week, so I'm hoping it will go out before the end of December, but it'll be really close if it does. And then the community impact report, I said it was included in the packet. I think I ended up doing that, but I hope I did. Dropped it in there. That was kind of a rush on Friday. And then we're at staff reports already, so I don't know if you guys have any questions. I thought there was one thing that I was wanting to highlight. I'm just trying to see if I can find it. The Nerf war sounded like a blast. 45 tweens in the library after close, running around, being crazy. And then I guess just the hygiene supply drawer, I think, is really exciting. The kids have put that together, the Joy group, and gotten that put up with the help of our practicum student, Reagan, which I think is great. And, oh, I know what the other one was, the ESL that Nick's doing. He just had a really good success story. I don't know if you guys saw that, but they did a focused on special interests, and they did hiring and applications, and then someone came back and said that they got a job. So that as hired as a cook at the school, so that's pretty cool.
That's great.
And that is, then you can see Andrew's numbers, which he always loves to share. And that is all I have.
Item 6 is a policy review. The policy being reviewed is the sex offender library use policy.
Yeah, and this policy is really quick. It's written by the city administrator, or the city attorney, pretty much, the whole entire thing, with just a little bit of help from me. So we don't typically do much on this policy, except just take a look at it and give a nod for the next year, unless you guys saw anything or had any questions about anything in the policy. And I just always include the form that folks can fill out if they wanted to request a chance to use the library. And we have not had one of those. We had one person wanting to use the library last year through a proxy, and that's and we get them books, and they just have to have a family member pick them up at the library. Does anyone have any questions about that policy?
I did not.
Okay, well, we can't actually vote on it anyway.
Not having a quorum.
Yeah, I'm not sure where Kara or Jamie are. I did not hear from either one, so don't know.
Item 7, old business. Is there any old business to consider?
No, might be the shortest meeting yet.
Item 8, new business. Is there new business to consider? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll motion.
Second?
Second.
I don't think we have to pass that one since we have to be able to go.